So how much capital do you need to start investing in US real estate?
You don't need hundreds of thousands of dollars to start. Our first property that we bought was a $51,000 3-bed, 6,500 square foot freehold landed house, and that's not the down payment, that's 100% of the cost.
$51,000 for a full landed house.
Yes.
Hi guys, it's Han and Tracy from Bite-Size Investments. 5 years ago, we had 0 properties, 0 rental income. Today, we have 26 rental properties and we're collecting over $36,000 of USD every month as rental income. Now, we didn't start rich, we didn't start with US credit, but we started with a lot of questions. And it's the same questions that you guys are asking us every week now. So we're gonna have this casual chat where we're gonna answer the most common questions that we get from you guys. What really matters and what's overhyped. Real answers from real people who have done it. Let's dive in. Question number 1. Can foreigners actually own properties in the US?
Yes, US is actually a very capitalistic and very free country, so anyone and anybody can buy houses. You can buy a US property in your name or you can set up an LLC, doesn't matter. We do that all the time. We buy properties and put it in our LLC. All our graduates in our community also do that.
You mentioned LLC. So question number 2 is an LLC recommended?
I wouldn't use the word recommended, but it's something that we use all the time. Why? One is for anonymity, so that it's harder to find out who the real owner is of the property, but at the same time it's also for liability protection. So let's say, for example, if the tenant slips and falls for whatever negligent reasons that you have, if the property is under you, then you are personally liable. All your other assets are liable in this context. But whereas if you are an LLC, then there's a separate shield, it's a separate entity, so the tenants can only go after whatever assets in that LLC.
Now you're starting with just one small house. You can choose to put in your own name and then after that transfer it to an LLC when you're ready to scale. It's really up to you, up to your own comfort level. But do note that an LLC is not like a magic shield to protect you from negligence, and it does not replace your landlord insurance.
Question number 3. So, do you need to fly into US to buy your property?
Well, we bought so many of our properties, more than 20 of them, without ever flying to the US, and our graduates have done the same. So no, you do not need to fly to the US to sign the closing documents. Now, if you're buying in full cash, not taking a loan, you should be able to just sign the documents online and then wire the money over to the title company for the closing. And if you're taking a loan, then depending on which lender and which title company you use, likely you will need to notarize your closing documents. So you can go to either a local notary in your country or the US Embassy notary in your country. But do check with your specific lender and your specific title company, because different companies have different requirements. So how much capital do you need to start investing in US real estate?
You don't need hundreds of thousands of dollars to start. Our first property that we bought was a $51,000 3-bed, 6,500 square foot freehold landed house, and that's not the down payment, that's 100% of the cost.
$51,000 for a full landed house.
Yes. Even with our $30,000 of renovation, which includes changing your roof, the kitchen, the flooring, the bathroom, the toilet, everything else. Yes, correct. It's still a fraction of what someone can pay for a Singapore property. Today it's rented for $1,475. If this is too big a sum for you, you can either take a bridging loan to buy the property or partner with someone. Next question. Can you as a foreigner get access to financing or loans?
Of course, we have loans on almost all our houses, because you know what Robert Kiyosaki says, right? I love debt, I love leverage, but we only love good debt. Good debt is loans or leverage you take that help you earn more money and scale your portfolio. So we and our graduates from all over the world, we have graduates from Singapore, Malaysia, Australia, New Zealand, Guatemala, South Africa, everywhere. We all are allowed to take loans in the US. And here's what's so great about loans in the US. There are investor-friendly loans that do not look at your personal income. It only looks at the property's income generating ability, meaning how much rent can the property generate. Now, the rent can cover the mortgage, property taxes, and insurance. Then your loan can be approved without looking at your own personal income. So you do not need a US credit score, you do not need a US income, you do not even need to show your foreign country's income to the lender for approval.
And do you know that loans in US do not look at your age? There's no age limit. That means technically speaking, a 99-year grandma can also take a 30-year loan. And best of all, the loans in the US are on fixed rate, 30 years fixed rate. That means it's fixed for the next 30 years. Even if interest rates goes up or down, it does not change for you. When it goes up, you do nothing. When it goes down, what do? You refinance and get a better rate.
And lock that in for 30 years again.
Yes. Moving on to the next question. Is US taxation expensive and complicated?
So let's handle that in two parts, expensive or complicated. First, is it expensive? Real estate investing in the US is probably one of the most tax efficient businesses. That's why all the rich businessmen in the US have a lot of real estate, because it's actually a very tax efficient business. I will not go into the technicalities, but it is written black and white in the IRS that your property can have an amount of depreciation every year for the next 27.5 years. That means by this depreciation can be used to offset your taxable income. Most real estate investors actually pay little to no taxes in the US. Now, the second part of the question, is it complicated? Is it complicated to change out the aircon system in your home? Like you have to redo the wirings and the trunkings and everything. It is, right? But you don't do it yourself. You pay a vendor to do it, like Gain City and Best or whatever. So it's the same in the US. You can engage a CPA to do your taxes, all the paperwork for you. And the next question, how do I send money back to Singapore?
Well, just send lor. There's no really restrictions, there's no capital controls, unlike China like that. There are modern banking apps that you can use, modern banking softwares that you can use. They just send money, like for example Wise or Revolut, that you can just send money back. So just make sure that you check your structure properly and then do your due diligence to make sure that everything is okay before you send.
Now the next question, which is really, really common. How do you manage your properties from afar, like when there are repairs to be made?
Well, you are the CEO of your company. You really set up a team like your realtors, your contractors, and more importantly, your property manager. So let's say if at night, if there's a 2 a.m. toilet clog, what do? Do you fly over and fix it yourself? No. There will be already an established system set up by an entire team where your tenant will call the property manager for all these fixes, and then they themselves will send someone down to go and fix it. Let's say for example a plumber or handyman, and then after that just pay the property manager. So all you need to do is make sure you select and vet someone that is credible, trustworthy, competent, and at the same time run your numbers to make sure that you have inbuilt all these fees that you need to pay out and all these repair contingencies to make sure that when these things happen, it will be taken care of. Now, moving on to the next question. With high interest rates and economic turmoil, wouldn't the market crash?
So I think there's a few parts to the answer here. First, we buy properties for long-term cash flow. We don't plan to buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. So even if the property value of those that we already own, even if the value drops, we're not going to sell it. As long as there's still a tenant inside, the rent still covers your mortgage and all your operating expenses, it's fine. And even in times of economic turmoil, people still need a place to live, right? Because a home and a shelter over your head is a basic necessity. People can sell their bicycle, their BMW, but they're not going to give up their home, so they will pay their rent. So as long as we collect our rent, it covers our mortgage and operating expenses, it is okay if the home value drops. The next consideration is margin call, right? Margin call is where if you took a loan on a property, let's say you took a $100,000 loan, and now your property price drops to below $100,000, and then the bank will say, hey, you're gonna top up this amount so that my collateral is safe. There is no such thing as margin call in the US. So there's no concept of money call, meaning that as long as I pay my mortgage every single month, even if my property price drops to really low, below what I borrowed from the bank, they are not going to ask you to top it up. So there is no margin call. Perhaps the one consideration that will affect us is if you are planning to do a cash out refinance, meaning you want an appraiser to go into your home and give you a valuation, and then you want to use that to take out a new loan. Now if property prices drop everywhere, then naturally the valuation will come out lower, and that just means you can take a lower new loan out of your home. But it's not a showstopper.
It's always good to invest in a housing market that is resilient. Let's say, for example, a diversified job base, there's diversified industry, so that when one industry is being hit, like for example the automobile, right? It's not that the whole industry is wiped out and everybody is jobless. There are still other industries that are still supporting the whole job sector, which means they are still making money, they can still pay rent. Okay, moving on to the next question. You have a masterclass. Why should I pay for your course? Can't I just learn from YouTube?
You can learn from YouTube. I mean, we learn a lot from YouTube, but we faced one major challenge. Everyone on YouTube was a US local, somebody living in the US doing it from the US. It can be out of state, but it's still from the US. Nobody was doing this from overseas as a foreigner. So although we spent 2 or 3 years researching and learning and networking before we bought our first property, we were still faced with a lot of challenges. For example, the title companies we worked with did not know how to close on the deal remotely. We had lenders that thought that they could do it, and then near the end, when it was almost closing, they decided to tell us, I think we can't close remotely. We had real estate agents that did not know how to look out for things in the house that we can't see physically ourselves. And we even have contractors that try to pull a fast one because they know we are not there and they think that we can't check things properly. So these are all the experiences and lessons that we learned the hard way ourselves, and then we package it together in our masterclass for people that want to shortcut their journey and be handed the blueprint.
So, last question here. What is the one thing that keeps you up at night worried?
Honestly speaking, at this point of time, I'm not really worried. I don't know about Han, but at the start, we were worried about a lot of little things. Like when we wire money over to the US, we worry, is it going to be stuck halfway? Is it going to be successful? Or when we were doing renovations, we were worried, did we miss out some small details that could cause the whole house to crumble down, and all those little things. But after many years of experience, we have seen a lot of things. I mean, we've done evictions, we've seen squatters, we have non-paying tenants, we have contractors trying to fake issues and get more money out of us. We've seen everything.
We don't want to lie to say that it is easy and smooth sailing. There will be situations sometimes that makes your stomach churn. But the thing is this, there are always solutions to everything, and if you find a team that is supportive, that will help you, they will figure it out and solve the thing. In this whole journey, you must always be constantly thinking about how do you manage your risk, whether do you avoid them, do you mitigate them, or do you transfer the risk to someone else. So these are the things that you need to think about along the way so that you can sleep peacefully at night.
And it's definitely doable because that's what we did, and that's how we are here today.
With 26 properties.
So that's all the questions we have for today. If you have more burning questions for us, just leave them down in the comments below and we will answer them. If you enjoyed this heartfelt chat, you can check out these 2 other videos where we also talk more about our experiences. And please, if you could take 2 seconds to smash that like and subscribe button, we would appreciate it so much. So that's all we have for today, and we'll see you in the next one. See ya!